People sometimes claim we have physical proof of Jesus because we supposedly still possess relics connected to him. Things like the crown of thorns, the nails from the cross, pieces of the cross, the shroud, even Mary's veil. But when you actually look at the history of these relics, none of them hold up as historical evidence. Let's go through a few of them one by one. First, we have the crown of thorns. The famous relic in Paris is claimed to be the crown placed on Jesus during the crucifixion. But historically, it only appears in records around the 4th century, hundreds of years after the events it's supposed to come from. Before that, there's no documented chain of custody linking it to the 1st century. Next are the nails of the crucifixion. Multiple churches across Europe claim to possess nails from the cross. The problem is that there are far more nails claimed than could have actually existed. Even ancient writers commented on how many supposed true nails were circulating. Then there's the garment of Jesus. Several churches claim to possess it, including relics in Germany and France. But again, these relics appear centuries after the time of Jesus with no reliable historical record connecting them to the original event. The birthplace shown here is the traditional site of the Nativity in Bethlehem, but that designation comes from church tradition centuries after Jesus lived. Archaeology can confirm that Bethlehem existed, but it cannot confirm that a specific cave or structure was the exact birthplace. The tomb is another example. The site known as the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is traditionally identified as the location of Jesus' burial, but this identification was made in the 4th century during the reign of Emperor Constantine. It's a traditional location, not a verified one. Then there are relics like the splinters of the cross, Mary's hair, or pieces of cloth from the Last Supper. Medieval Europe had thousands of these relics circulating at the same time. In fact, the reformer John Calvin once joked that if you gathered every claimed fragment of the cross, you could build an entire ship out of the wood. Probably the most famous relic, though, is the Shroud of Turin. Radiocarbon dating tests performed in 1988 by 3 independent laboratories dated the cloth to the medieval period, something around the 13th or 14th century. Some people have argued that the tested sample may have come from a repaired section of the cloth, but no new radiocarbon test has confirmed that claim. None of this means Jesus didn't exist as a historical person. Most historians agree that likely he did, but relics like these aren't historical proof. They're objects of religious tradition that appeared centuries later. So if someone presents these relics as evidence that Christianity is true, the historical record simply doesn't support that claim. Also, and I'll end on this note, even some of these relics being historically proven to be that of Jesus of Nazareth would not prove the supernatural claims which are the important part of the story. They would simply prove that a man named Jesus lived.